So the first order of business is a motion to approve the agenda. If someone could do so, please. Carol?
Point of order, are we allowed to make recommendations for amendments to the agenda?
Well, the agenda today is, well, to be approved, but the agenda today is for everyone to get to know one another and to go over what the current core area liquid waste management plan is and the sewage treatment configuration. We're not doing anything other than that. What was
But is it not appropriate for me to ask for a discussion around amending the agenda at this time?
Around?
If I want to add something to the agenda, is this the time to do it?
It would be, but I would prefer it if you would do that ahead of time through the chair or through staff.
Well, through the chair, I would like to suggest an amendment that's very important, if we could have a minute to discuss it.
Would you like to let me know what it is?
I'm wanting to move to amend the proposed agenda by adding discussions around the terms of reference for TCAC prior to the election of the vice chair, because the validity and decision-making capacity of this committee is in question. It appears that the CRD used pre-2011 guidelines to determine the terms of reference for this advisory committee. And if allowed to have a spot on the agenda, I can explain why I have these concerns. It shouldn't take more than a minute.
I think that's in order and it doesn't need to be an amendment because we haven't approved the agenda yet. So we can make item 3 terms of reference of TCAC and then proceed with the remainder of the agenda. So if someone would like to move that resolution to approve the agenda with that added. Moved by Larry Resnick, seconded by
Seconded.
Michael Baxter. All those in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried. And we would start by Larissa, if you would please explain the terms of reference to the committee.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. Maybe I could just ask if folks have brought their terms of reference with them and if they have the terms of reference to...
It was sent out with your letters, so I don't have a copy today. Does everyone else have a copy of it?
So we can make a couple of copies for the purposes of this, if that's necessary. Doesn't look like it.
Does anyone need a copy of them? Dan? Maybe you can share Carol's. Yeah. Because it doesn't look like anybody else feels like they need them. Larissa, if you could just briefly go over them.
Certainly. So the introduction is listed there in the terms of reference, which gives some background in regards to the purpose of the Technical and Community Advisory Committee, making reference to the Core Area Liquid Waste Management Plan and the 7 municipalities that are included in that plan. It enables the CRD to move forward on a number of matters, and those were general matters that are listed there in the introduction with regards to sewage treatment and other pieces of the liquid waste management plan. And we'll talk a little bit more about what is encompassed in the liquid waste management plan later on the agenda. There's roles and responsibilities. The TCAC will respond to requests from the steering committee, and I know Chair Blackwell, you were going to talk about the steering committee for this committee being the Core Area Liquid Waste Committee. That's a standing committee of the board, and we can get into that if there's questions. Membership selection and appointment, that has been amended since 2011. The Core Area Liquid Waste Committee took a look at membership and made some adjustments with regards to the numbers, and those numbers went up overall, and a number of agencies and advisory committees, for example, the Roundtable on Environment, chose not to send a member to this advisory committee. On the second page of the terms of reference, there are resources, Ministry of Environment, Environment Canada, and VIHA, and we have staff. Actually, we didn't introduce staff from those agencies over on the side table. Maybe we could do that. Okay. Apologies. And rules of order, and then the term. So I can certainly answer any questions and open it up for concerns.
Ms. Witter, what is it you wish to bring forward?
Well, from the interim guidelines, that was revised in July 2011. The guidelines, well, I'll just read some of the guidelines that I'm concerned about. One of them is that it says a guiding steering committee will be advised by 2 advisory committees. So a public advisory committee and a technical advisory committee. So TCAC isn't really referenced anymore. They reference 2 committees. And it does say in certain circumstances, local governments may find it beneficial to establish a single advisory committee to fulfill the role of both the public and the technical advisory committee to improve communication and reduce the number of meetings required. So I understand that. I would like to know what those circumstances were that determined there should be only 1 committee. And then 4.2.2a states the guideline that 1 elected representative from each municipality should be present. So there are 7 elected representatives missing from this committee. 4.2.2d, residents of electoral areas and municipalities in the regional district should be represented. So there are only 5 members at large for 7 municipalities. So I guess it depends on where those 5 members at large are from to determine how many municipalities are not being represented. And 4.2.2e, local business groups and ratepayer associations should be represented, and there are no ratepayers associations on this committee. And 4.2.2h, local school districts. There are no school districts on this committee. So my conclusion is that Amendment 9 is being developed in the absence of all stakeholders. And I would like to make a motion that this committee make no decisions until the CRD clarifies the description and or amends the terms of reference around representation on TCAC.
Get over the table, second.
Well, first of all, I believe we've combined the public and technical advisory committees for obvious reasons, so that we have representation from the public and the technical groups so that we can work together. The rest of would you like to address some of the other points?
I think certainly these terms of reference have been modified to a limited degree with regards to membership in recent months. I think in order to provide a comprehensive response to some of these details, I would want to sit down with my counterparts at the Ministry of Environment and just take a look at what those guidelines are, what they truly represent in terms of policy or guidelines, because I think that might be important to distinguish. And then we can come back with a more comprehensive response.
Thank you. So a motion to postpone this motion until the next meeting will be in order, please.
Excuse
We
me.
have a motion on the floor.
Would you like me to read the motion again?
Well, what I'm requesting is that there be a motion to postpone this, your motion about the terms of reference until we have some ability to come back. Oh, I apologize. I didn't have my mic on.
Could I speak to the motion?
Sure, Michael, go ahead.
I don't think that the motion needs to be postponed. I think it can be passed now, because I don't think the intent was that we needed to make any decisions today. I thought
Absolutely,
it was just
we
introductory.
weren't intending to make any decisions today.
So the motion simply acknowledges that we won't make any decisions until next meeting.
Okay.
So
So the motion was that we not make any decisions, which we weren't intending to make anyway. And if, Ms. Witter, you had advised us of your concerns ahead of time, we might have been able to provide you with some of that information today. So in future, if you would please bring your concerns forward to staff or the chair ahead of the meeting so we can get the information for you. That would be appreciated. Thank you.
And when possible, I will do that, but I couldn't in this case, so thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion? Opposed? The motion is carried.